In this video, I want to get into what the matrix is made up of and what keeps us trapped in it. And so the matrix I'm referring to here isn't, a literal matrix like it is in the movie. But the movie, as I said, is a great metaphor for the matrix of thought and belief and story and concepts. Because these are what distort our reality. Is literally the belief in the paradigm of thought. You'll notice as we go through the awakening process, it's literally about it's all about getting rid of beliefs. Deep-rooted held beliefs. And because beliefs create duality. It's not like we just become vegetables as well and we don't think and we stop engaging with the world. It's just we see that thoughts aren't the ultimate. They don't hold ultimate value or reality. And they're what thoughts do? We have one thought and then another thought, and they kind of bounce off each other. Or like a thought bounces off another thought, and it creates like a bit of a hall of mirrors. And within that hall of mirrors, it moves so quick, it kind of creates this sense of a self, this sense of a receiver of reality, an observer of reality. That there's an observer, observing thoughts, observing sound, receiving sight. And that is all an assumption. It's all based on the belief in our conceptual ideas, belief in all our thoughts. And because thoughts are just words, are just letters put together, they're not inherently true. So when we just live in thoughts through basically looking at the world through the lens of thought, because words are never ultimately true, they have relative truth, but when it comes to what's going on, they're only an interpretation. Maybe that's a better way of saying it. Their thoughts are only an interpretation. And what's happened is we only look through reality through the lens of thought. As in we put on glasses of thought and look at the world through them. We get lost in the unreality. And then what happens is there's a movement to try and I guess fix the issue we feel, because we feel something's off. We're looking through these lenses of thought, trying to figure out what's going on. And feel like there is someone there that needs to figure this out, figure reality out. Whether it's for security, money, relationships, whatever it is. And then it's just happening en masse, and everyone's just thoughts are bouncing off and stories, and this is how, and it can, it gets pretty crazy. We end up in a mad world where everyone's essentially trying to relieve themselves of suffering and figure out what's going on in reality. And they're looking for a sense of security, stability. So it's all like survival. It's a bit of a mess, and we kind of all collectively co-create a sort of bit of a crazy matrix. And that is because all our attention is in thought. We live just purely from the head, and we don't know anything else when we've lived that way. And that's the crazy part, because it's like, and that is it's sort of a trap you can't get out of. You can't use thought to get out of thought. In the sense of like, you can't construct a concept to land on that will save you from that, because the whole problem is trying to construct an understanding, a concept. But you see, reality needing to be understood is a mind thing. It's a story the mind needs. It's only relevant to the mind. Because what's here doesn't need to be known and doesn't need beliefs. It's just in the paradigm of thought and duality, things need to be understood. And it's a tool, and it's helpful to use thoughts to understand reality and navigate this world. But as I said, they don't hold ultimate value. And that's when we get stuck in a loop of seeking, a loop of thinking that there's a self here, or an appearance of a self. And it's why it's so important that this process is we let go of our beliefs. Not get rid of beliefs entirely, but we see them as just appearance. A thought is an appearance, the same as a cup appears, same as the sky appears. You could say there's just appearance, nothing else. But a thought arises and something's happened where we've taken that thought to be us. Instead of it just being part of the appearance, part of the tapestry, we believe it to be us. And then it kind of, we reflect back off it with another thought. And then a self is generated, or an apparent self is generated. Or a self that is believed to be us. Like we always have a self in a way. Okay, there's if someone calls my name, I'll respond. But the self is more of an action, a verb, a side effect. It's not this solid thing that I am, that exists independently from reality, that is separate from reality. It's part of the appearance. I guess it's just what is happening. And you'll notice that this self is suffering. It's tension. It feels like tension. If I could describe what the self feels like, it just feels like a tension, contraction. Because it's trying to, I guess, solve itself in a way. It's thinking you're an individual, that you're an individual and there's an external world out there and you're separate from it, is a painful experience, because there's fear, there's survival, there's all these things that come with being separate from reality. So it's trying to relieve itself of that fear of just being an individual in this big wide world. It's full of fear and scarcity and insecurity. And it's also not real, but in its world, the world of a self, it needs to fix itself. It needs to solve itself. It needs to create security, but nothing ever does it for it, because its nature is inherently unsatisfactory. Because it's like closes itself off from reality when you're an individual. When you feel like you're an individual, you're closed off from the world around you. It's like having walls up. It's kind of like, imagine looking out at nature, and then you could talk to trees, and this tree was like, or this plant was saying to you that it's in a pot and that it's trapped and that it needs some, can you water my pot, or like, can you give me some nutrients or something? And you're like, you're not trapped. You're not in a pot, but the plant believes it's in a pot. And when it's in a pot, all the other plants and animals are a threat to it. And it believes it has to protect that pot. If something breaks that pot, oh no, like it's in trouble. And that's kind of like the self. It's like it creates the illusion of separation. And then what comes with the illusion of separation is we have to defend ourselves and keep ourselves intact and alive. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it loops on itself when it's the problem. The belief in it is the problem. It's why awakening can sometimes feel scary and intense, like you're going to die. But then the pot breaks, right? The illusion of the pot breaks, right? Like the example, the plant was never in a pot. It just appeared like it was. It just somehow, something had got, I don't know what happened. I don't know why we started believing that we were separate. It's like we got intoxicated by the mind too much, because it's a valid tool. It's a great tool to communicate, to build, to manage life. But at one point we just went fully into the mind and couldn't find our way back out. We went into a world of duality. And then, with that comes this sense of needing to defend ourselves. So how do we break through? How do we stop living in a pretend pot, a pretend separation? And it comes back to the start of the videos. We start looking at our beliefs. It's why, if you do a session with me, the first question I'll usually ask you is, who are you if you can't refer to thought? Because what happens with spirituality is this: you're watching videos and you're trying to find somewhere to land on, some ultimate consciousness or reality or something like that, which sometimes is helpful to like break the bounds of thought, but it's still, we always end up with getting into the self survives, I guess, off landing somewhere, landing on a concept and an idea, and then it plants itself into it. But because everything's so fleeting, you'll notice throughout your life, you land on, this is who I am and this is what I like, and then it changes. Then there's instability, disorientation, find a new identity, find somewhere else to land, find something else to chase. It's why we like, a self likes seeking, because at least there's stability in seeking and placing hope in the future. It's like, oh, things don't feel good now, but if I keep doing this, I'll feel good. But we do that enough times and notice we never actually feel good when we get to the perceived spot that would bring us fulfillment. Or we do feel fulfillment, like we get the dream job, the relationship, the money, but very slowly the dissatisfaction returns. Because the sense of self is inherently insecure and unsatisfied. But notice all these are movements out from it, and we want to kind of go directly to it, this sense of self. And the way to do it is we can't give it anywhere to land. Like even everything I'm saying in this video, it's for context, but it can become a landing, a belief, a story. It's ultimately just a story. But context can help. Sometimes I can see, or it sets the ground up for inquiry. To ask, why are we even inquiring? Why am I asking, who am I, if I can't refer to thought? And it's to kind of break the loop, this kind of self-fulfilling loop. So when you ask yourself, who are you, if you can't refer to thought? You look around and you're just like, it's just kind of, there's just this. There's just this appearance. The appearance without any observer, right? The observer is a thought. I'm looking at this appearance, that's another thought. Appearance, another thought. But when reality gets stripped back, we notice there's peace here. Or there's a lack of resistance, I might like to use instead. Because it's our dualistic stories that create all the suffering and resistance. The belief in separation. Because belief in separation, unworthiness, unlovable, insecurity, all this stuff comes up. And when we see we are not that we are actually free of all, that our nature is free of all that thought. And it literally is like a matrix. It's like, who are you if you can't refer to thought? Or what's this moment without language? What's this moment? What's this a moment appearing without language, without thought? And notice thought comes in like a matrix wave, just coming in and just dividing and chopping everything up. Creating this illusion of separation. And then with that, it tries to solve the problem of separation through the thing that caused it. And it's why we get stuck. So what's here without landing anywhere? The mind wants to land on something. But is there anywhere to land? Can you land anywhere else? And the mind may come in. Yeah, but I don't like this. If this is it, I don't want it. It's boring, it's lame, it's that. And it's like, that's just thought as well. That's a little trick it does as well. It just wants to keep you, because it's survival based. It's innocent in a sense. It's just trying to survive because it thinks if it lets go of control that it's gonna be harmed. It's gonna be vulnerable and open to the scary world out there. Like the plant that thinks it's in a pot and doesn't want to lose its pot. But what happens when the pot falls away? It realizes it's completely part of the entire ecosystem, that it's not separate from anything, that reality is deeply okay. Another great question is, what's this? Because it also thrives on the moment not being good enough. It goes, oh, I want a bit more peace. I would love a bit more of this. A bit more love, a bit more insight, a bit more clarity. I want it to be a bit more stable. And it's like, what's this moment without it needing to be more? And then it's just deeply okay. However, if it's manifesting as pain, as suffering, as sadness, it takes that edge off. It's like, this can be okay too. Because this process of letting go, let's say seeing through the matrix, isn't about seeing through the matrix, therefore I'm just feeling good all the time now. And I'm just happy and good all the time. It's completely, you're not playing the game anymore. You don't need to feel good all the time. Because you see the nature of it. The nature of this matrix is you feel good and then you don't. And then you feel happy, you feel sad, you feel excited, you feel angry. It's the nature of this is always changing. The matrix is always morphing. And everything is just appearing, arising, disappearing, arising and passing, arising and passing. And we stop needing the matrix to satisfy us or be anything other than it is. It's like an equanimity or a neutrality, but no one's holding it. There's nothing standing back and being neutral. It's just, it comes from seeing this moment clearly. Seeing that it's an appearance. Anger, appearance. Sadness, appearance. And it doesn't need to feel good all the time. Because everything is deeply okay. Every moment is deeply okay. Every moment doesn't need to be more than it is. And there's just a sense of curiosity and interest. Ooh. Because it's just, anger's arising. How interesting. Sadness is arising. How interesting. Look at this matrix playing out itself. Well, and then as the thought matrix kind of lifts off, what's revealed is the same as what we see, but just vibrant and beautiful, luminous. And we realize how cloudy the thoughts were. It's like we've been wearing glasses that were foggy. Or not even that example. Like we thought we were wearing glasses that were foggy. And then we see through that the fog isn't even the fog. That everything we didn't like was deeply okay. All the specks of the dust and the fog, and which we thought was a problem, was actually okay. It was just whatever this unknown is manifesting. It was only the mind that said, I don't like this, and I want that, and I want this, and I need this. And that's where the freedom from the matrix comes from. Is not needing it to be any other way. Not needing this moment to be more. And that, I think, kind of sits at the core. Not in the movie, but in this thought matrix. Because reality just is as it is. And the sooner we kind of accept that, and it may not feel good at first to just accept, like, I can't make life the way I want it to be. I can't make life feel good all the time. I can't have perfect security. As soon as we accept that and see it as not a problem that we can't have what we want, it's like, oh, and then there actually doesn't seem to be a problem anymore. It's just this arising and passing of appearance, thoughts, appearances, colours, shapes, forms. Doesn't mean we don't have preferences, but it means it's okay when our expectations aren't met. We don't expect anything from reality. When we see that there's nothing accepting or not accepting reality, there's just the thoughts, the seeing, the hearing, the feeling, the colours, the shapes, and then even throw all that out, throw all the words out. And then we're just in the complete unknown. Bit of a free fall, maybe it feels like at first. A bit disorientating. Because we're so used to living in the matrix of thought. But we realized we didn't need it. We didn't need to live like that. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next one.